Hello there guys, and welcome to another live commentary. This is probably going to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more laid back on this one. But we're here once again with another 2 versus 2. Seems like these guys have gone for Metropolis this time, and I apologise for missing the first few seconds of the game. I didn't realise it had actually started because I was miles away. But yeah, again, using the Balance Tweaker mod to see how it goes down. And like I said in the actual video of the Balance Tweaker mod explaining what the mod does and what it is all about. The mod is definitely not final. Some players do think that the +2 seconds to walling is a little too much, and that may be revised to +1 second walling time, depending on how things go. Obviously, this patch is relatively new, and it does need a lot more testing before we can say with certainty whether the changes are achieving what we wanted them to achieve, or whether the changes perhaps go a little bit too far or not enough. So as I say, things will be changing and things will be updating, but that's the beauty of being able to patch the game and make updates for the patch. We will, of course, be able to continually release updates to make sure that we eventually get to the place we want to reach, which is a much more balanced and fun, exciting game. So once again, then 2v2, this time on Metropolis, which is the 3TC start. Should be really interesting to see how this one goes. Usually, water doesn't get neglected on this map because there is a lot of food on the land, and generally speaking, you don't see a huge amount of water aggression. I mean, just look at that deer patch right there. There is so many deer to be had, but things do get pretty hectic on this map, and it's really enjoyable to see this map played at a slightly higher level. Obviously, this is not like top level AOC right here, but these guys are pretty well rated, and they should give us a good game, I certainly hope. So up to the north of the map then, in the purple once again, we have got Blaze, and he's playing as the Huns. I hope these guys went team random. I guess we'll find out in just a minute. Blaze's teammate is to the left of him, over at the west of the map, in the blue, and he is Mr. Guz, and he's playing as the Japanese. So it's Japanese and Huns. Japanese, then, should be a really interesting one to watch, because the Japanese are an infantry civilization, and as you know, infantry has been buffed slightly in this patch, though it's mostly, well, it's just a militia line, really. The Japanese samurai have not been touched at all, so it'd be interesting to see how it goes down and whether or not long swordsmen come into play in the Castle Age. But to be honest with you, I still think we'll see I think we'll see knights straight away from the Hun player, and then the Japanese, well, they may be tempted to go with a pretty standard build in this situation because they are up against the Huns, of course. So that's Buzz and that is Guz and Buzz, which is up to the left, and the other team in the red, we've got Gorse, playing in the red as the Japanese at the top of the map, and down to the south of the map in the teal, we've got Holden Caulfield playing as the Huns. So yeah, this team random, and well, Metropolis. So off to a pretty hectic start, starting with 3 TCs, having a lot of villagers to control right from the start, having to micro all those villagers to get the boar in from all 3 TCs, managing to scout with all 3 scouts at the same time. It's pretty crazy, and it's really weird as well. Like, you get so used to starting a game and doing a standard build order that as soon as you get thrown into a situation like Metropolis, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know who you are, you don't know what you are, you don't know where you are, and nobody has a clue what to do. So it's really crazy at the start. Now, one thing that we see more often than not on Metropolis is walling of the flanks. Now, obviously, most players here, well, they will definitely be doing fast castles, I assume, because the sheer amount of food here, the fact that they've got 3 TCs, meaning that if they want to keep villager production going non-stop, by the time they click up to the feudal age with 500 food, they're going to be at about 50 plus population. You can see that Blaze is already at 46, Gorse is at 40, and Holden Caulfield is at 45. So, I mean, there is a huge amount of villagers out already, and those resources are going to come piling in very, very fast. So feudal aggression, very rarely an option on this map, and that's why we usually see fast castling, and that means that the flanks will probably get walled up. Now, walling with palisade, you can do that from the Dark Age onwards, and then after that, once you get up to the castle age, you can start building stone walls. So fast castling and walling up with stone is completely doable, but obviously it nerfs the fast castle slightly. Now, in a normal situation, if you want a fast castle, you go up to the feudal age and then you start walling up with stone. In this situation with the balance patch, you fast castle, but you can't build those stone walls until you actually reach the castle age. So it adds more risk to the fast castle strategy, and it gives players an opportunity to play more aggressive against someone who just walls hard all the time. Because in a normal situation, if someone hard walls up, they are forcing that style of gameplay. If they hard wall, you pretty much have to fall back and hard wall yourself. Otherwise, they are going to get the castle age first. They are going to be able to beat you once they reach the castle age. So the ability to break through those walls and stop the stone wall coming up in the feudal age, it does allow for higher aggression, and it basically stops the player from hard walling, from being able to basically rule the show and dictate how the game should be played. And I think that is the really key thing with that. The actual difference to the wall time, the actual build time, might be a little too much. We'll see. I think the cost is absolutely fine, adding two wood, but adding 2 seconds, maybe slightly too much. But you can see Mr. Guz here at the south of the map, he's having no trouble actually getting this walled up, and he does need to, of course, wall up a little bit more completely, but it shouldn't be an issue for him. At the south, though, Mr. Guz coming in, looking for some villager kills, looking to maybe get in and stop this wall off from happening. But at the moment, he's just floundering around. He can't actually get through there. That palisade wall was actually complete. So Caulfield was able to do a quick wall off. He'll probably want to wall here now to stop those scouts coming in any further. And meanwhile, villager from Guz here going to get taken down by the scouts by the looks of things. Holden Caulfield, of course, does not have +2 attack just yet, but that villager, oh man, she's 2 health and she's down. Man, that's a shame. Guz could have come in with his scouts and stopped that from happening, but he's going to try, or Holden Caulfield, sorry, is going to try and stop this wall off from happening, but I think Guz is going to be successful in doing that. We've actually got 3 docks coming up for Caulfield as well, 4 in fact. Looks like he does want to go for the water, but a fast castle should be on the cards for all of these guys as they reach the feudal age with very nearly 800 food and 200 gold. On the right side though, surprisingly almost, well, it's not surprising in fact, not surprising at all, Gorse is actually adding in this archery range here. That will act as his second feudal age building, I believe, and he will then look to go up to the castle age straight after. At the moment he needs that blacksmith still though. He's only got the archery range at the moment, and the blacksmith should be coming up any second now. He does have, well, he did have the wood for it. There it is, coming up at the top. Now let's not forget as well that players can always build wall up with buildings as well, and in a lot of situations walling up with houses and walling up with buildings is more effective than building a solid palisade wall if you can plan your wall in advance. And that works out really well if you do that. So, you know, you can see here Gorse is able to start walling a little bit with these buildings, finishing it off with some palisade wall perhaps very soon. So Gorse is up to castle, Blaze is up to castle a little bit faster, and meanwhile in the south of the map, Holden Caulfield and Mr. Guz are a little slower up. But Holden Caulfield's just clicked up, and we'll see Mr. Guz clicking up in just a minute as well, I'm sure, though he is somewhat slower at this point. Oh wait, sorry, he already has. Wait, no, look at the wrong person. There we go. He is quite a lot slower. Okay, he's not having a good time at the moment here. He's really short on food, and that's probably because he's not taking all of his boar. Look at this. There's a boar here. There's 2 boar down here, and they have not been taken. In fact, there's a boar at the top as well. Oh goodness me. This is a real problem for Blaze and Guz here. Not enough food for Guz, and he's missed 3 boar, so that's expected. And you know, has he seen them? He's actually not scouted them, and that is a problem. Obviously you do start with 3 scout cavalries in this map, so there's no excuse really for not scouting, but I guess his priority there, I suppose, was to try and defend this right hand side. Ultimately it seems like he lost his scouts anyway, which is not so good. Did kill a villager off though, by the looks of things. So yeah, missing this boar at the top as well, not so good, and he's really slow now to castle, and that's a risky issue, or a big problem, because already we're going to see Holden Caulfield bringing out those fires probably once he reaches the castle age. He's holding off on the galleys for now, adding in more fishing ships. Once he gets castle, we'll see some fires coming out, And considering this left side's walled up, he's not going to have to worry too much about aggression coming through here, but he is adding in stables as well to do some knights. Now, I kind of get the feeling that Guz will be down and out very, very quickly in this game, judging by how things are going so far. At the top of the map, we got knights out for Blaze, though, and those archers from Gorse are going to get taken down pretty quickly. This is what I was saying about, I'm not surprised that we're seeing archers coming out here from the Japanese player. It's pretty much a solid unit choice, but obviously we know for a fact that the crossbow upgrade has been nerfed slightly. The issue here is that Gorse was a lot slower up to the castle age, and at the moment he can afford the crossbow upgrade, but he's opting instead to go for the spears because, well, spears are a hard counter to knights, whereas archers, not really a counter at all. They're just good in numbers because archers are just strong. End of story. So these knights are going to get in the woodwork, and that's going to do a lot of damage over on this right side. Meanwhile, on the left, we are going to start seeing Holden Caulfield pressure on as well with his own knights, as well as the siege workshop over here. Guz is very, very slow. He's up to castle now, though, but Holden Caulfield already got those fires on the water coming out. Couple of fires already here, and we've also got Blaze with fires on the water too. Just 1 or 2 out for him. He does only have 1 dock versus the 4 of Holden, but this is certainly going to bring Holden back, I feel. I don't know, actually. He's probably going to go for the fishing ship kills anyway, but he really doesn't want to lose too many of his own fishing ships here. Fires coming out to take those down very quickly. So obviously, in a map where fast castle is the norm, fire ships are expected to come out first. Fire ships obviously very fast at taking down fishing ships, and fires will be the logical choice. In a map where grushing is expected, so in like a 1v1 on islands or something like that, where players are pretty much forced to grush, then I expect we will see galleys, and then we'll see fire ships, and then we may see some demos as well. But we'll see if any demos come out. I still want to see that happen. But on the land, Blaze is getting in there, trying to take out some of Eco, or Holden Caulfield's Eco. Holden Caulfield as well, doing a lot of damage to Guz here. And we got to check where Guz's castle age upgrade is. Oh, he's done it. That's good. I was going to say, if that TC went down and that castle age upgrade didn't complete, that would be the worst thing. Guz at the moment is pretty high on villages. He's got more than Caulfield and Gorse, but he's losing villages pretty quickly to these knights right here. Now on the right side still, knights coming through. We got pikemen for Gorse, but he's not tried to wall up at all, and that surprises me. He could have done a stone wall here between these buildings and actually stop this, or stop these units coming through altogether, but Blaze just continuing to come through. Holden Caulfield at the back, walling up with some stone to keep his villagers safe, but those knights are going to wreak a lot of havoc, and you can see already that Blaze has killed 27 units, just losing 6, which is a really good ratio for him. Holden Caulfield, though, still taking out the galleys, or the fishing ships, sorry, on the water, and Mr. Guz now has the lowest number of villagers in the game. Like I said earlier on, it's pretty expected that would happen with this insane raiding coming in. He's trying to get up a castle here. Could work to help save his economy a little bit, but he really needs to deal with this somehow, and at the moment he's really got no land army or whatsoever, hoping then that castle will keep him safe for the time being. A little bit of fire on fire action. Of course, fires do not counter fires, they just have a little bit of a flame war for some time. Sounds very much like internet forums, but only on the water here. But I want to see a demo ship come out. That's what I want to see right now, because a demo does counter fires. Obviously, in this situation, Holden Caulfield should get the advantage purely because of the sheer numbers. Blaze at the moment only 2 docks versus Holden's 4, but Holden's had to deal with these knights on the land as well, which is a big problem. Looks like, though, we got a little bit of a pushback from Gorse here. He's bringing in some crossbows, but Blaze already ready with the elite skirmisher upgrade, and that is obviously going to be able to stop those crossbows doing a huge amount of damage. On the left side, we got Blaze bringing in some knights, and he has got nearly full upgrades on there as well. Looks like Mr. Guz is going to be okay for now with that castle. May lose another TC. These knights from Holden Caulfield pretty much fully upgraded as well, though, taking quite a bit of a beating from these castles and TCs. They really are. Mr. Guz should really try and get the fletching upgrade at this point. He can afford it. Fletching is certainly going to help him out against knights in this situation, but instead he's adding in a couple of samurai, which is interesting. He's got loads of gold, not much food. attitude as he's lost a few units on the water. He's to start making galleys, which is interesting. He's now switching back into making more fishing ships, and these guys really need to win the water. It looks like, though, they're doing just fine right there. Blaze managing to do quite a bit to hurt Holden Caulfield on the water there. So Mr. Guz wants to sling now. Slinging has also been nerfed slightly. The castle edge is where the coinage upgrade is, and it's been moved from the fuel edge. So slinging in the castle edge is absolutely fine. Mr. Guz just needs to do himself the coinage upgrade, which he's researching right about now. And on the right side, Guz is pushing in, but not too aggressively. He's still lacking quite a lot of units there, and he really needs a little bit of siege, and he still needs to deal with these knights as well, I feel. So at the moment, Blaze really holding this together for his team. And at the moment, Holden Caulfield's aggression on the left side seems to have been stopped for the time being, with Blaze bringing some knights over there. I guess now the interesting thing is whether or not they're going to be able to win the water. For now, does not look too likely. Although saying that, Mr. Guz has a few galleys out, he's just not upgraded them. Probably would have been wiser to go straight into fires here. But either way, just look at those fishing ships. There's so many of them. And Holden Caulfield does not seem to be too active with his fires at the moment. So that's probably a good thing. So Imperial Age for Blaze, is that coming in anytime soon, or is he keeping that aggression on? Well, he's not too far away. He's got about 500 food or 400 food to go. He's got 2,000 gold in the bank right now. And I mean, he's done a lot of upgrades over here. He's done the elite skirmisher upgrade. He's nearly fully upgraded those knights. And he's continuing to push in with light cavalry as well. So, I mean, he's done a lot right there. He's continuing to raid really effectively as well. And Gorse really needs to wall up this left side. At the moment, he's holding out with those crossbows and pikes. So that's alright for now. But he should really consider walling this, and that will certainly stop these knights from running through and doing a lot of damage. We can see already this TC here under a lot of fire, so, quite literally, as those knights get in and do a lot of eco damage. Villager count right now is looking really good for Blaze. He's on 120. Surprisingly, Mr. Guz has more villagers than Gorse at the moment, the red player, so you know, things aren't looking too bad for Blaze and Mr. Guz at the moment, even though Mr. Guz took a massive beating on the land. He just needs to keep that sling up, I suppose, and maybe Blaze will be able to pull something off on this right side. Now, this is where I think sling should really be used. In a situation where you've taken a lot of damage and you can't prop yourself up on the land, this is where sling makes sense, in my opinion. Not from the get-go, but from when it's almost like a desperation move. Either way, Holden Caulfield on the water, still looking pretty good. There's fires going at it, and looks like Holden Caulfield may just win that fight as well, as he has got those numbers. Demolition ship, though, of Holden Caulfield coming out. Now, the demolition ship, it's an interesting one. It may need changing. I don't know. Water balance is a really difficult thing to achieve, I think. But that demolition ship certainly seemed to do its job. It's probably going to be more effective when there's more fire ships out, though. And I look forward to seeing if Blaze will consider doing some demos at some point. Once he reaches Imperial, perhaps we'll see some more stuff on the water from him. But obviously, water control is not everything. This is a hybrid map, and this is a pretty good example, actually, of where land is equally as important as the water. So, Forward Castle, oh wait, it's not a castle, that's a TC. I thought it was a castle from Blaze there. I thought it was a cattle drop, but no, it's a TC drop. And a lot more knights coming in. Cavalry archers from Blaze as well. I mean, he's just getting a bit of everything because he can. Holden Caulfield also up to the Imperial Age now. And actually about even on villagers compared to Blaze as well. But at the moment, Gorse is taking a real big beating from Blaze on this right side. The raiding just non-stop around the clock for him, and that is obviously doing a lot of eco damage and giving Mr. Guz the opportunity to pull himself right back into this game. On the water still, Holden Caulfield looking pretty good, bringing out these docks, but this is where this is where a demolition ship would do wonders. One demo out of here, and these fires are suddenly, it's all sunk, and it's not nice. These guys are really not prioritizing the water at the moment. You can see Blaze on the left side adding in some stables. He's going to do Cavalier pretty quickly. And he needs to get some siege going pretty quickly as well. So Cavalier's on the way. And I think as soon as Blaze gets the siege out here, he's going to be able to push Gauze right back, take down these buildings, stop his military production and all that stuff. So Blaze at the moment actually going to the left side. Holden Caulfield's still in the Castle Age, I believe. He's nearly up to Imp now. And Blaze just hammering away at those buildings there, trying to break his way through. This is what I was saying about walling with buildings. It's totally reasonable to do that. And, I mean, Holden Caulfield could easily add in some stone walls here as well to keep these units out for longer. This is where Blaze needs that siege. Obviously, the Huns with Siege Ram can be pretty effective. And it's not always a bad idea to go Siege Ram at all, simply because Siege Rams are awesome. So Halberdier for Gorse at the moment, he's focused really on defending. I'm looking forward to seeing when he attempts some kind of a pushback, because at the moment, this Halberdier build from him is certainly only for defensive purposes. What's he going to do to actually get aggressive here? Would be nice to see some infantry, but we'll see about that. There's quite a lot of archers out on this right side for Blaze, so I don't think that would be too wise. Maybe going into Elite Skirmisher for him would be worthwhile, and obviously some siege, as always. But Blaze on the left side here, or at the south side rather, bringing in a lot of Cavalier now. He's got +4 defense, and he is pushing right forwards with Siege Workshop going up as well, which is good to see. So upgrade advantage to him, obviously the defense upgrade advantage and the Cavalier advantage, and there's a lot of units coming through here. Cavalry Archer for Blaze at the back to support, though they're not going to do a huge amount since they're pretty unupgraded. But Blaze is going to work his way through, and of course there is a hole. And Blaze now at the Siege Workshop, actually not doing any upgrades, and I'm not sure if he's actually done any upgrades yet. We'll see. He may have done capped ram already, but at any rate we should start to see some rams coming out soon. But really, this sling has been pretty effective so far. He's up to about 200 population. The problem is, if he's fighting on both flanks, he will get outnumbered eventually. In theory. Anyway. But at the south, he's pushing him really well. Holden Caulfield just can't keep up in the upgrades, it seems, at the moment. Although saying that, actually, saying that Blaze does have the upgrade advantage. Holden trying to get that castle up back here, but that's not going to happen at this rate. Those Cavalier are now Paladins, and Blaze is just going to tear through this. Still waiting to see those rams coming out. He's not done the capped ram upgrade yet. It's on the way, and we've got some battering rams coming out on that left side as well. There's a lot of Halbs here on the left side from Gorse, but like I said, he needs something else than just Halbs here. He's bringing in the battering rams, but he's not going to be able to do a huge amount with just rams. Obviously on this side we've got cavalry archers to bring down these Halbs pretty damn quickly. These now have +4/+4 as well, so they're going to be pretty damn effective. On the left side, Gore's clicking up to the Imperial Age. He's slow, but he's got there. And that sling to Blaze has certainly helped Blaze out, doing a lot of eco damage to Holden now. Holden's at 138 villagers, and Blaze is at 136, but receiving sling. The back of the map, Gore's trying to build a market back here. Interesting location for that, not in the corner of the map, but hey, eventually we may see that happen. On this left side, or the right side, sorry, heavy cavalry archer now for Blaze. Of course, the Huns cavalry archer is still cheaper. And it's 30% cheaper in the Imperial Age in this patch rather than 35% cheaper. So they do cost a little more than in the standard AOC, but they're still going to be perfect for the job over on this right side. Obviously Halberdier here, very weak against cavalry archers, or archer units in general, simply because these cavalry archers can cut them down as they make their way over to them. These Halberdier really aren't the counter to Cavs. The skirmishers, however, they certainly will be. And also, capped rams coming in will tank up quite a bit of arrow fire, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Gorse needs to make a little switch away from Halbs, or entirely Halbs in this situation. Blaze also dropping a cattle on the top of the map there. And those paladins are right into their economy. That's pretty nasty, with capped rams coming forwards as well here to keep that pressure on. Blaze just lacking the +4 attack on his paladins, and that's going to be coming in fairly soon, I imagine. Mr. Guz now about ready to join the fight as well by the looks of things. Hopefully he's going to be going champions here. It does look like he might be heading that direction. I'm looking at the wrong person. Hold on a sec. There we go. Mr. Guz at the moment, all of his barracks idle, but he has just reached the Imperial Age. Blacksmith idle. Barracks idle. Oh, he's doing Halb. Okay, well, yeah, I guess that actually makes more sense, given the fact that Holden Caulfield is making entirely Cavalier. Yeah, of course, Halberdier makes the most sense, especially because they're Japanese. But still, I'd like to see some champions in a bit, probably just because Holden Caulfield may run out of gold reasonably soon. I mean, I don't know for sure. He's probably got quite a bit left, actually. But if he does run out of gold, champions are going to be useful for that. We have got the siege ram upgrade done, though, for Blaze now. And Blaze now also getting into Gorse's economy once again. But Blaze and Mr. Guz have more villagers than Caulfield and Gorse in total. And also on the water here, that's a lot of fires from Mr. Guz. I mean, he's really gone all out on the fires there, hasn't he? That's a lot of fire ships in the middle of the map. Well, what can I say? Holden Caulfield's lost the water entirely. Of course, the focus is on the land at the moment. And this is where I think that there's still a reason to go galleys and galleons. Fire ships, as we know, have only 2 range, which means from the shoreline they can do very little. Now, if Guz had made galleys here, galleons, he could be at the shoreline hitting villages on the farms. He could be doing eco damage from the water, whereas fire ships really suck at that. So fire ships really do remain as a counter units to galleys, and I think Guz really overextended or overcompensated, I guess, on the water here with these fires. Probably shouldn't have made quite so many, because they are really not serving much purpose at the moment. Blaze at the back of the map, still doing a lot of raiding though, and honestly, I think this game is probably going to go well in their favour at the moment. Blaze is being an absolute beast at the moment. More castles coming up on this right-hand side. More heavy cavalry archer coming in. And, of course, more paladins as well on the left side. Though, I don't know, it seems like he's run out of steam a little bit at the moment. But his KD is insane. 487 units killed, 265 lost. Pretty damn good. Both Caulfield and Gorse have lost a lot more than they've killed, and I think these guys want a GG pretty soon at this rate. As, well, Caulfield still does not have Paladin at the moment, and he is being really, really delayed to get that. His food income has been in a lot of trouble since the raiding began, and that is totally expected. Well played by Blaze and Guz, winning that game in a pretty nice fashion, let's be honest. We did see a bit of sling right there, and I think that is totally reasonable, given the fact that Guz was in a horrible situation economically. Slinging him was kind of like a last resort. Blaze was able to do the damage on the right side to even out things, you know, in terms of economy overall. And then after that, he just continued to raid and raid and raid, and it paid off, getting to the Imperial Age first, and also pushing in with Paladins on both sides, doing a lot of damage. Really well played by Blaze there. And honestly, I just think Gorse should have walled this up. I mean, he should have just walled this up with stone wall, and it would have stopped a lot of those knights coming through, a lot of those later cavalier coming through, and would have saved them a lot of trouble. Also, obviously, Guz winning the water at the end there allowed him to take a lot more fish on the water, but pretty good. And I think Blaze and Gorse deserved that victory. So well played, and that was pretty enjoyable. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.